downtown to the beaches of South Beach to Biscayne Bay, Fort Lauderdale, and everything in between. We will have you covered from our Havana-themed studio as we welcome you to not only Miami Beach, but the site of Super Bowl 54 on Super Bowl today, again presented by Lexus with Super Bowl champion Sean O'Hara, Matt Money Smith here. And Sean, I'll ask you the obvious question. What is life like for a player who is participating in the Super Bowl on Thursday?
Well, it's a blur as a player, and you're constantly pitching yourself. You can't believe that you're in the big game and at the big dance. But one thing that you always try to just keep telling yourself is just one more game. It's just another game. Just treat it like another game. So I've never had more conversations with myself leading up to a game than that week. And then the other big factor is just your stamina. You want to make sure that you've got enough energy and you've got to hydrate. So there's a lot of drinking.
Okay.
Yes.
Drinking.
Gatorade,
there we
water,
go. Okay, just making sure. You say drinking, you know where my mind goes.
Performance-based beverages.
Right. I mean, we just saw the beach. I'm thinking umbrella, maybe a slice of pineapple.
I got you. Yeah, you're a pina colada guy, right?
I am. Oh, yeah.
Or a Zima?
Of course. Absolutely. Barzini.
Okay. Sure.
Is that what you're calling me? All right, here we go. War of the words. You don't often see bulletin board material at the Super Bowl, but we're thankful when we get it. Chris Jones providing some commentary that Jimmy Garoppolo had to answer for.
Last game, they threw 8 passes, and scored over 30 points. If a team can do that, they're very dangerous. So they love to control the tempo of the game. They love to control how the game is played, and we got to stop that.
Put the game on Jimmy Garoppolo's shoulders.
1,000%. And we'll see where it goes from there.
Chris Jones of the Chiefs said they 1,000% want to put the game on your shoulders and obviously take away the run, but put it on you. What's your reaction to that?
It's great. I mean, teams have tried that this year. I think our offense does a great job. Starting with Kyle, just with the play calling, but they do a great job of getting us in good situations, whether it's run or pass, and, we just do the rest.
Well, Sean, I think this is an instance where the players certainly appreciate the media. I think it's quite obvious that the first order of business for a defense is to stop the 49ers' run game, yet it gets twisted into Jimmy Garoppolo can't play quarterback.
Yeah, it's all bulletin board material is always out there, and that's why as a player you're always kind of cognizant of, all right, if I say something, can it be misconstrued or taken another way? So, but it's nice to actually see that a little banter there between two guys that will actually be on the field and against each other.
Right. So let's get to Jimmy Garoppolo and why the Chiefs want to put it on his shoulders and force him to beat them if they are going to if the 49ers are going to have to win the Super Bowl here. Yeah,
the one thing that Jimmy Garoppolo's got to do in this game is take care of the football. And when you look at this season, 13 interceptions, the one thing he struggled with was he would stare down his receivers. You look at this little dig route right here, a little shallow cross, and look, he's staring at this receiver. And the safety right here, closed on the ball, should have been an interception right there, but he stared him down. All right, here's another, just a little curl route right here by Sanders. He's staring him down. This linebacker's reading his eyes right now. Easy interception. I mean, hit him right in the gut, and that's what he can't do. All right, you go back to the playoff game earlier this year. All right, here he is with George Kittle. All right, Michael Kendricks all over this play right here. Should have been an interception. He ends up making good on that right here. Slant route, it's like he never even saw the linebacker right here. So he has struggled to see these underneath defenders, and that's the one thing you can't do if you're Jimmy Garoppolo right now. You cannot give Patrick Mahomes extra possessions in the Super Bowl. You look back at that Texans game, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs had 13 possessions. That's how they were able to come back from that huge deficit. You can't give them extra opportunities if you're Jimmy G.
Yeah, I mean, came back from 24-0 in a quarter to take that 28-24 lead. One thing that was interesting, ask you to maybe comment on this and give us some analysis on this. You said you're going to get an opportunity to see these two guys actually face each other. It's not quarterback versus quarterback, but it is defensive tackle versus quarterback. If we look at the 2 times the 49ers played the Rams with arguably the best defensive player in the league, the reigning defensive MVP, Aaron Donald, Jimmy Garoppolo was under pressure a lot, was sacked a lot. He had just a single touchdown to 2 interceptions. What do you make of how Chris Jones plays into this versus what Aaron Donald was able to do?
Yeah, Chris Jones is a handful, and you try to double a guy inside with a guard or a center, but one of the things that jumps out at you when you see all these quarterback hits, look at how many of them are twists. So a lot of stunt games. That's something that the Kansas City Chiefs are definitely going to do a lot of, and I think you've got to find a way to pass those off. Keep in mind, Ben Garland is playing center. Weston Richburg actually tore his patella against the Saints in that game. So, you've got some guys that haven't been together the whole season. Laken Tomlinson, and the right guard, Mike Person, they're going to have their hands full with Chris Jones inside.
All right, so that just a quick thumbnail, I should say, on that matchup. We'll get through more of that as the show progresses, but here is a list of our guests that you will hear from today. Von Miller, Super Bowl champion, of course, Derrick Henry lit the playoffs aflame with his running until they ran into the Chiefs. Shaq Barrett in line for the defensive MVP, 1,000 season for Christian McCaffrey. Sean Payton, one of the great head coaches and a Super Bowl champion himself, and of course, one of the great personalities, JuJu Smith-Schuster. But how about right now, we get out to our James Jones, who is with Saquon Barkley.
What's going on? I'm here with the man, Saquon Barkley, New York Giants running back. Man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
It's good to see you. So I see you got your Old Spice in your hand, man. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the Old Spice Ultra Smooth, new line. You know me, I'm a low-key guy. I love low-key scents. Deodorant, got face and body wash. The body wash actually dermatologist tested. You know, not anyone really doing that in the game, especially when it comes to this. It's a new and improved Old Spice. You can see is the darker red, and you know, it's on shelves now. I use it. I love using it, and make sure you guys go get that.
So everybody at the network get free
Exactly.
Old Spice from Saquon. So talk to me, man. Last year, man, it was kind of up and down, a rough year. This year, you got a new coach. What's your first impressions of the new coach?
He's awesome. You know, when I got to go and actually meet him, obviously I talked to him on the phone when he got hired and, you know, congratulated him. But when I got to go meet him, you know, you could just see that look in his eye that he wished it was August or July already. He's ready to go. You know, he's going to make sure we're a team that's focused and that really focus on the details and go out there and not lose games on ourselves and make teams actually beat us. And, you know, I just love the things that he's been saying so far in his interviews, on the conversation I've had with him. And I'm excited and I'm ready to go.
Now, Eli hung it up. He retired.
Yeah.
They already said he's going in the Ring of Honor whenever the first game is in MetLife. What are some of the things he taught you?
Some of the things he taught me is no matter what, up, downs, win by 40, down by 40, coming to work the same way. And I've seen that in the last 2 years with him. That's the same guy, especially in the New York media and the New York market, where you know things can get hectic, and especially being a star player or being a star quarterback. People are gonna say a lot. People are gonna say what they want about you, but just the way they handle themselves every single day is something that, you know, just caught my attention, and something I hope to continue to add to, you know, my career and hopefully continue to improve on that also.
Now he's out. Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones is in. What makes this guy special?
He's talented. He's got the God-given talent. He can make all the throws, but scratch that. It's the work ethic. It's the, you know, the mindset, the mentality that he has. And, you know, you wouldn't really know that unless you're in a locker room with him or you're in a weight room with him or you see him in the meeting rooms. You know, because he just comes off as a, you know, just a chill, relaxed guy. But you know, he has that killer mindset. He has that killer mentality, and hopefully he's able to allow that show a little bit more on the field. I feel like that always, you know, helps, and, you know, just with just, you know, just how the team looks at it. But he has that mindset to be a great leader and to want to be a great player and to want to be one of the best. And I truly believe if he keeps that up, he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks to play this game, and he's going to help us and help the Giants win a couple championships, hopefully.
Now, I know you one of the best running backs in the National Football League. As a receiver, I always watched the other receivers. I always said, okay, look, he coming for me, or I need to come for him. Besides yourself, who would you choose right now as one of the best running backs in the game?
Derrick Henry finished the season off strong. You know, he finished the season off on a whole nother level. And, you know, the way what he did for Tennessee Titans and the last two games and going into the playoffs. But Christian McCaffrey, you know, someone who just catches my attention. You know, there's a whole bunch of running backs that catch my attention. I'm a big fan of the game, and I like to watch all the games. But Christian McCaffrey is just, this year was on a whole nother level. I think where the game is at with running backs, you got to be all around. You got to be able to do it all. And there's nothing that he can't check off on that checklist. So I would say Christian McCaffrey would probably be the one.
We're here at the Super Bowl. Hopefully I see you at this game one day. But we got the Niners, we got the Chiefs, we got a big-time defense, we got Patrick Mahomes and a big-time explosive offense. Who are you giving the edge to in this game?
Pat Mahomes is, you know, he's an amazing player to watch. Probably the best player in the NFL. Him or Lamar, you can make an argument. But old school football, you got to be able to play defense, you got to be able to run the ball. I know you don't agree with that, but that's what the 49ers have, and I think that the 49ers in a very close game find a way to figure it out and get the win.
There we go, man. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Saquon Barkley, running back, New York Giants.
Great stuff, James and Saquon. I know something that he did not say there, but you saw the hanging number 26. Got that from Sean O'Hara, but you used to do studs, number 60, right? In each year, whereas he went with the, the dangling. So very cool.
He went
kind of paying
dangle,
homage to you.
Which kind of reminds you of a former New York Giant legend that used to rock a chain
Exactly
like
right.
that with the LT.
Exactly
so
right.
He has a little Lawrence Taylor shout out.
So obviously,
either that or he's paying homage to Dylan in 90210.
There's that.
Yeah.
Or I was thinking Barry Bonds too with the
Bonds had it.
Right.
Yeah.
But also Sean O'Hara again with the studs, the 60. They're beautiful. You should see them. Emeralds.
Clearly.
Interestingly enough, though, he's got the blue eyes, but he liked the green rock in his ear. It's something he told me off the air.
What goes better with a stud than a couple studs?
See that? You see what you're doing there. Studs, stud is how you would do it.
Yeah, it must be my deodorant. I just feel very confident today.
Yes.
I threw on some Old Spice.
Is that, well, come on.
For sure.
That's what we do here.
High endurance.
The Super Bowl. You're a Super Bowl champion. You know what it takes to get there. What do the Giants need to do? They certainly seem like they have a lot of talent. Now they have a new head coach. Do they have a new identity?
Yeah, I think they're going to, and I think we're playing off the Old Spice here. So the great thing about the Giants, this new team, I think they're going to sweat the small stuff, and that's one thing that they've struggled with the last couple of years. They've lost the battle in the trenches. They have not been good at blocking. They have not been good at tackling, and that's what Joe Judge is bringing to this team. You hear him talk about his time with Nick Saban in Alabama. You hear him talk about what he's learned with Bill Belichick up in the Patriots. It's not a whole new scheme and formula. It's simple football. Get back to being physical and make that guy the focal point of your offense, Saquon Barkley. And I think when you look at the fact that they brought in Jason Garrett, look at Jason Garrett and what he did in Dallas. Right? Zeke Elliott has led the league in rushing a couple times now when he was down there. So they were a run-first offense with Jason Garrett there as the head coach. So I think this Giants team is going to look totally different when it comes to the basics of football. They're going to be much more physical. And I think the one thing that you have seen from the Giants on defense, they've struggled to stop the run. But offensively, short yardage, goal line, they just haven't had that physical presence to get them over the hump.
They've had a lot of high draft picks the last handful of seasons. Do they have the talent to make a step here in the NFC East?
I think they do. And I think they have a quarterback, too, in Daniel Jones that has shown that he could be accurate. He needs to take care of the football, certainly. But I think offensively, their identity needs to come out. And I don't know what the Giants' offensive identity has been the last couple of years. You know, when it was Odell Beckham, it was, hey, we're going to throw a slant to him and hope he can take it to the house, or we're going to take a deep shot. It hasn't been a physical offensive run game mentality. It hasn't been, hey, we're going to go on 10 to 12 play drives and beat you that way. So their identity needs to change. But then defensively, that's really where they've got to find some players. And you mentioned another high draft pick
number 4.
This year, number 4. So they were 2 a couple years ago with Saquon. They were 6 with Daniel Jones, now 4. They need defensive help. We saw them invest in some young corners last year. DeAndre Baker, he struggled at times out on the perimeter. But I think they need some pass rushers, and they need some guys to get after the quarterback. Especially, Money, when you think about this NFC East, look at some of the best tackles in the league. What division are they in?
Yeah,
the NFC East.
Exactly.
Lane Johnson and Jason Peters down in Philly. All right, they just drafted Halapuli, or not Vaitai, but Dillard from Washington State.
You got Trent Brown in Washington if they can sort that thing out.
Yeah, Trent Williams.
Or Trent Williams
in
I'm
Washington
sorry.
if he comes back and plays. Morgan Moses, Brandon Sheriff, so they've got some good old linemen. And then Tyron Smith down in Dallas.
Right.
And Lyle Collins on the other side. So you need some guys that can win one-on-one on third down. You can't rely on the blitz. So I think the Giants really are going to focus on defense this offseason.
All right, so a quick look at the Giants as they try to get back to the top of the NFC East. And Saquon Barkley, arguably the best running back in the NFL, arguably the best pass rusher, actually not arguably, the best pass rusher of the last decade.
Hey!
Going to join us when we return.
How you doing?
Sean going to try to get out on that boat, but he's got to put in some work here first. So Broncos
it's a little cheeky out
pass
there.
rusher Von Miller will join us next.
Oh, there you are, Money.
Yeah, that's me.
Boats and Bros.
That's me playing dominoes. Back here on Super Bowl Today, presented by Lexus, we have embraced the Little Havana theme in downtown Miami here in our studio. How about we get out to our Good Morning Football crew? We're sitting with Von Miller.
Please welcome to the show, Von Miller.
Hey, what up, Von?
Howdy.
Love having you here. We're going to get into a ton of stuff, but there's a Super Bowl on Friday, and pass rush has been talked about left and right 24/7. You have a pass rush academy. You're creating a venue, a moment for some of these young guys to come and learn some of your moves. Are any of the guys playing in the Super Bowl? Were they part of your academy?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's an academy. It's a summit where guys that have, any type of experience rushing can meet with guys that don't have any experience rushing. And, I don't really think it's a place where I come teach the guys. Like, we come learn. I learn it every year from the Pass Rush Summit.
So who's in the Super Bowl that's part of that?
Eric Armstead has been there. D Ford has been there.
That's what's up.
Solomon Thomas has been there.
Okay.
So we got a couple of guys that have been there.
That's awesome.
Frank Clark has been.
Frank Clark too.
Yeah, Frank Clark.
Wow, it's almost everybody in the game. You gotta get Bosa.
Both rosters.
I know, right? I got to get the Bosa brothers.
We're playing the clip of the Super Bowl on the way in. We've talked about your Super Bowl this week, comparing it to this one, in the sense that Mahomes is this crazy, charismatic MVP quarterback like Cam was. The Niners have this amazing pass rush like you guys did. Do you see any similarities between your Super Bowl and this one?
I just think the 49ers, they have one of the toughest defensive lines in the league. And they're going against Patrick Mahomes, which has to be the most explosive, offense in the league. But I feel like defense wins championships. Nick Bosa and the Eric Fisher matchup is going to be one to watch. And, the 49ers secondary versus Patrick Mahomes. So they got quite a few matchups. But I'm going with the 49ers.
Yeah, because that D-line, of course.
Yeah, D-line for sure.
All right, let's talk about your team, the Broncos. Now, the season didn't go the way that you wanted it to, but you guys finished strong, though. You won in 4 out of the last 5 games. You guys actually finished second in the AFC West after Drew Lock took over. What was it about Drew that kind of sparked the squad?
Man, he just had that confidence. He just had an aura around him. And,
really?
And I knew it from day one, like he was special. But, to really see him in practice and in games.
Vaughn, a lot of players say, I knew he was special, I knew it from day one. What do you mean by that?
Man, it's just I feel like confidence is such a huge part of a quarterback's game. And, a young quarterback, he has all the confidence in the world. And I think that's going to take him where he needs to go.
Vaughn, we show these highlights of Mahomes, and you see him twice a year, every year. The left-handed pass, you're chasing him. Then there's the two-point convert, all this stuff. You've had a lot of success in your career. This guy is also a superstar in the league. What would be your advice to these 49ers pass rushers on trying to contain this dude who, at the drop of a ball, can make some crazy trick play?
Man, they just got to play their game. I feel like Nick Bosa and Eric Fisher, that's going to be the matchup that'll open up for the 49ers. And you got D Ford going against Mr. Schwartz, too. He's familiar with Mr. Schwartz. He practiced against him for 4 or 5 years. So I just think, defense is the way to go. And Patrick Mahomes, the way to stop it is you have to play good defense, but you have to score points as well. If the 49ers don't score points, then, it'll be the Chiefs' game to win.
Listen, Vaughn, tell us what you got going on with Old Spice, because every time you come here, you represent very well. And Kay said it when you popped on the set. You brought a different aura and a different smell.
I know. Where's that bottle?
I like to be rough and tough on the football field. That's what makes you a great football player. But off the football field, I like to stay low-key and smooth. And the new Old Spice Ultra Smooth is great for guys like me that want to stay low-key and don't want to have overpowering scents without compromising performance.
Love it.
Vaughn, that was incredible. You should be in the Pitch Academy. That should be the new academy. The Old Spice Pitch.
I got it on, so I feel like
It's good.
I got it all the way over here.
You guys should buy that out there.
You're a star, Vaughn, but there's a big star over there. Have you noticed anything special about the old Microsoft Piaggio guys out yonder? They got your likeness on it. Can we show, please, Von Miller, what we're referring to? There it is. What do you think, Vaughn?
I think it's cool, and whoever did that did a great job with the glasses and the hat and the smile. That's me for sure. It's super cool. Super cool.
It's been the star of the show, the Piaggio, right?
Yes, the star of the show. Also, your glasses, your Oakleys you guys have here on set. Von Miller, of course, you have some of the most incredible fashion sense in the NFL, and a lot of it comes from your glasses. You have over 100 pairs. Is it more than that now?
Yeah, it's probably a little bit more than that.
Yeah, probably a little bit more than that. And you are ridiculously well-versed on all things fashion. So we thought have you give us some predictions for the coming year, both in football and in pop culture, in a segment we will call 2020 Vision.
Oh, I like that.
You down? First prediction, your breakout NFL star of 2020.
I got to go with Drew Lock.
Yes, sir.
That was easy for me.
Love it.
I'm in practice with the guy every day. I see the way he works. We put other pieces around him for him to be successful, and I'm hoping for a big year out of Drew Lock.
He's got bars too. I see on the sideline.
He does. He's so cool, man. He's a rock star. He's really a rock star.
All right, Von, moving forward, looking to the future, which movie will win Best Picture at the Academy Awards? What do you think?
Best Picture.
Yes.
Dang. I haven't. The last time I went to the movies was to see Queen and Slim. I like that.
Okay. Movie. Have you seen Cats?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay. You got to catch it. So Queen and Slim is the clubhouse leader for Best Picture. TBD, though. We'll see.
All right. So obviously you're into fashion. You're always dressing fresh. You came through with the Louis Vuitton high tops. Kyle was like, hey, are those L.A. Gears? Sorry,
British
my
Knights,
guy.
Nate.
He's not British Knights. He's not really into the fashion. But what fashion trend do you think is going to pop in 2020?
You know what? Trends, they come and go. I feel like, dang, that was a tough one.
Something comes back around. It's always like a cycle.
I think like the baggy jeans will come back around.
Really?
People already started like, in 2019 and 2018. But I just feel like the baggy jeans are coming back.
These ain't it. These ain't it.
No, these not it. These not it.
I thought you were going to say slap bracelets. Okay.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah, also cool. We saw the Grammys, Billie Eilish and Lizzo. Who is the music star of 2020? Who is going to be the person that everyone is listening to in the summer and is blasting from the rooftops?
Oh, geez. It's so many great artists out. I mean,
The Baby.
The Baby. He's already popped.
Sash.
I like Lizzo. And I like what she's
Everything's Lizzo right now. Finally, who is winning Super Bowl 54, Mr. 2020?
The San Francisco 49ers.
Really?
But I'm not confident about that because you can't count out the Chiefs. We saw that in the last two games.
Right.
They've come back by 24 and they've come back by 10. You can't really count those guys out.
That's what's up. Hey, listen, appreciate you joining us, baby.
Von.
Thank you, guys.
Von Miller in the house. Give it up for Von, everybody.
Yeah, what's up?
And that brings us to Arriving in Style, presented by Genesis, a perfect follow-up to the high fashion sense of Von Miller. But let's talk about pass rushers in this contest, particularly the lock for the Defensive Rookie of the Year, Nick Bosa, and what he's able to do against offensive lines and impacting the quarterback play.
Yeah, Bosa's been an explosive player. And look, we won Super Bowl 42 against the Patriots because of our defensive line. And I remember Tom Coughlin coming in to our team meeting on Wednesday morning saying we have to hit the quarterback every single play. Steve Spagnuolo preached it day in and day out. And we had guys just like you're seeing right now. Bosa, I mean, look, Osi Umenyiora was our Bosa. We had Strahan on the other side, and then we had Justin Tuck that would move inside. But Bosa has been so phenomenal at finishing sacks. How many times do you see a defensive end beat an offensive lineman, get to the quarterback, and miss? And Patrick Mahomes has been one of those quarterbacks that can do that very well. He makes a lot of guys miss. So Bosa has been one of the great finishers this season. When he gets to the quarterback, that's a wrap. He's fast enough to run you down. But here you see the hand battle right now. Look at him grabbing Bakhtiari's wrists right there, right? You saw him on the sideline during that game talking about how he's trying to control the offensive lineman's hands. Joey Bosa, for a rookie, might have some of the best hands I've ever seen at defensive end. And it's because of the work with his brother and with his dad. So he's going to be a big factor in this game. I think if you're the Chiefs, you're going to try to find a way to give Eric Fisher help. You don't want him one-on-one against Bosa on 3rd and long because that's a nightmare. And I think they're going to find ways. Andy Reid's always been great at finding ways to chip guys with running backs, chip guys with tight ends, even a little bit of play action. One thing that kind of gets lost on people is the Kansas City Chiefs actually ran more play action this season than the 49ers did. A lot of it was out of shotgun, and they call it an RPO, so it just looked a little bit different. But that's one way that they're going to try to slow down Bosa.
Now, you mentioned Joey, and we heard Nick and Joey earlier this week going into this game, speaking about how they were going to share information with one another, of course, in the same division. So Joey has seen the Chiefs a lot. He's battled Eric Fisher a lot. And you mentioned the hand battle, and I think maybe one of the things that gets lost is they look at statistics, they see 9 sacks, they see hurries. But you said it. They have to change what they want to do to account for Nick Bosa, and that means that you have to change your offense because of the impact he can have.
Yeah, you've got to find a way to keep him out of your backfield. And I think the one thing for the 49ers, too, look, if you're Nick Bosa, you've got to rush Patrick Mahomes with a little bit of concern, too, that he's dangerous outside the pocket. So as they try to chip Bosa, and when you realize that as a defensive end you're getting chipped and they're helping you, what you start doing is now they start doing twists. And you start seeing a lot more tackle and twist, and what that could do is compromise the contain aspect of it. So it's definitely going to be fun to watch, to see that game within the game. I think the one thing that defensive linemen will preach to each other during this game, especially with Mahomes, don't try to bat the ball down, all right? Patrick Mahomes has so many different throwing platforms. He can sidearm it. He can sling it around. Run through the quarterback. Don't get caught in the air trying to bat a ball down.
And just quickly to wrap it, the other thing, too, is you mentioned when you have to chip or you have to account for Bosa, look at that defensive line. I mean, from Buckner to Armstead to Thomas to Ford, now you have to account. One of those guys is going to be one-on-one, and that's
And part of the reason why Bosa doesn't have more sacks is because other guys would beat him to it.
Yeah.
Eric Armstead had 12 sacks, and that's part of the reason why Bosa didn't have as many.
Well, that was Arriving in Style presented by Genesis. As we continue on Super Bowl today, live from Miami, we are going to hear from Derrick Henry. Talk about a playoff run, one for the history books. You'll hear from Derrick Henry, Titans running back, when we return. Back on Super Bowl today, presented by Lexus. O'Hara and I getting ready to get our two-man game on.
Yeah, sweet setup, Iceman.
Close that fist when you hit that ball over the net, all right? I'm going to whistle you for a foul. That's our biggest concern. Let's get out to our Good Morning Football crew as they are joined by Derrick Henry.
All right, this is one of our favorite guys in the league. We've compared him to Atlas, to Goldberg, somehow to Bo Derek. He was the NFL's rushing champ, and he's the angriest runner on the planet. It's from the Titans. It's Derrick Henry.
Hey.
Derrick, we love you. How you feeling?
Feeling good, feeling good. Thank y'all for having me on here.
I bet you are feeling good, my man. There's a lot of things going for you right now. Before we get into those, you ended the season. You know, we see basketball players who get in the zone, and they just can't miss. You see it from golfers. I feel like we saw it from you. Back-to-back games over 175 yards have never been done in history. What was that period like for you, that run?
Yeah, it was definitely fun, you know, as far as me with my team, and I think I was just locked in, just zeroed in. I think we all played good collectively. I think we knew that for us to, you know, make the run we wanted to make, that had to play good defense and run the ball physically. Because, you know, Coach put up statistics of last year's playoffs, and the teams that ran the ball effectively advanced. So that's what we wanted to do.
Okay. It's crazy. You hear about shooting guards and quarterbacks getting in the zone. You never hear about a running back getting in the zone. He said he was locked in. A hot hand. But that hot run came to an end. It came to an end in Kansas City. Unbelievable squad. They're ready to play. I was there working the game, sitting on the sidelines.
I think I seen you.
And they had a game, but I seen you. You was out there cooking. First quarter, I was like, it's a wrap. I'm about to go for another 200. But forget about all that. We'll talk about the loss later. But as far as this Super Bowl matchup, what is it about that Kansas City Chiefs defense that makes them special? Because they stopped you, and you were the best player in the league in the postseason by far.
Yeah, if you look at it, I think we played in Week 10.
Yep.
And then they didn't lose ever since.
Yeah.
So I think that the changes that they made, adjustments that they made, it worked. I think that credit to their focus on what they need to do better as a defense and as a team. But I think that speaks volumes to, having lost since Week 10 in the Super Bowl. Self-explanatory.
Put your scouting report hat on. What about the Super Bowl? Is there a weakness? Is there a spot? Is there something or a place where they can get exposed?
I think this is a game I think that they got it from me for the 49ers, the Saints game. By the way that they scheme up, even they did an option play with the fullback by running the ball.
That's good.
They do a great job. I think Kyle Shanahan does a great job with scheming, plays up as far as running the ball. And I think if they can do that, run the ball effectively, I think they can give the Chiefs a run for their money.
I know it wasn't the ending to your season that you wanted or the one that we wanted for you, because we love you a lot on this show. Yep. But one thing that did stick out to all of us was after the game, you, Ryan Tannehill, Coach Mike Vrabel, talking about how much you guys really love each other. Yep. How did this happen? Was it slow? When did it develop? And how much do you think that factored into your incredible run?
Yeah, I think when we were 2-4 and our back was against the wall, y'all know we 2-4. It don't look like we get in the playoffs. Yep. At all. And I think when Coach just stood in front of us and said, nobody's panicking, nobody's freaking out, we know what we got to do, let's see what happens. And I think that as the season went on, we got in the playoffs, we made the run that we made. I think that made us appreciate, what we did more as far as, as a group and collectively. And I think that's what we were speaking on.
Fascinating offseason for your team and for you personally. If the viewers at home don't know, Ryan Tannehill, currently a free agent.
Yep.
Derrick Henry, set to be a free agent.
Uh-oh.
You franchise one of them, you can sign them both to long-term deals. All of these guys are notable Titans free agents. So as Kay said, you had this amazing run and this team had this wonderful chemistry. You want to bring everybody back. Yep. You might not be able to, but Derrick, you could reset the market for running backs. You just had one of the greatest postseason runs, and it really started at the end of the second half of the regular season. How are you looking at the next few months? How are you and your agent looking at the next few months? And does that stuff really seep into your head as we're here at the Super Bowl looking at two other teams play for the big prize?
Yeah, I definitely want to stay in Tennessee. The momentum that we've had, the chemistry I have with my teammates, and the run that we went on. I think that speaks volumes. And I definitely like to stay there, get with my agent, try to work things out. With that organization, with everybody there, and and
but they got to bring that money though. Let's just keep it real, bro. I know you're doing the political thing, but let me be
let him talk. I want to hear what he's got to say.
They got to bring the right check.
Yes. Because as a player, you want to get everything you can, out of this game when you're playing, because at my position, you don't play very long. So exactly, I want to get, I feel like my worth. And I just get with my agent and try to figure things out. But at the end of the day, like you said, the money has to be there, because that's what this league is.
That's what it is.
Nate working his magic. That's nobody else. It works. I'm telling you, there's guys in the league who owe him. Derrick, you won the Angry Crown.
Yep.
You won the Angry Scepter.
Appreciate
and first
that.
of all, thank you for sending it, receiving it, pictures, videos, everything. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, man. That's a lot of fun. I think I did a great job with that Angry run. I think guys look forward to, being on those highlights, and it's definitely a fun thing. And I appreciate you recognizing me as an Angry run. So, yeah, I definitely
recognize yourself. Listen,
keep it going.
Your guy Ingram says he's putting the crown on top of the Heisman. So if you need a spot for it, I know you also have some hardware at home. But, Derrick, there's other hardware down the line for you. One of the many honors that you're up for, FedEx Ground Player of the Year Award. Voting actually closes at 3 p.m. today if you're watching at home.
3 p.m.
NFL.com/FedEx, 3 p.m. The winner gets a $20,000 donation to the USO in their name, which is really cool.
Yeah, great thing.
Nick Chubb had a hell of a season.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey is amazing.
Dog.
These are guys going against you.
Yep.
Why should you win, Derrick?
I think, it's ground, and I think I did well on the ground.
Hey.
I think that speaks for itself. So, if you want to vote for me, the vote ends at 3 p.m. I think FedEx is doing a great job of donating $20,000 to USO on behalf of Aaron Ground winners. So, vote ends at 3 p.m. You can vote at NFL Twitter or NFL/FedEx, NFL.com/FedEx. So
not to mention every defense game plan was to stop you, and they couldn't stop you.
8 in the box.
Yeah,
Stop
exactly.
You're not trying to stop McCaffrey, guys? Come on.
I feel you. All right, so Derrick, as Kyle mentioned, you're an angry runner, but you're pretty chill. You're low key. So we want to talk about the things that bother you. So what makes you angry? All right. So let's start with traffic or a crying baby on the plane?
Traffic. That's
Really?
I had no question. Yes.
Is there traffic in Tennessee?
I got road rage, so traffic. So yeah.
That's how you run the ball with rage.
Exactly. That's real.
Derek, nothing makes me angrier than slow walkers in front of me. People who are slowly walking on the sidewalk in front of me. What makes you angrier, that or people who chew with their mouth open?
Slow walkers. We're on the
Worse,
same
right?
page. I can't stand that.
We got places to go.
I'm like nuts. So traffic, slow walking.
Yeah, you're walking to the facility. LaJuan and Conklin will get the hell out of the way.
My kind of guy.
I will pass you. I literally will pass you. Walk slow.
Like Derrick Henry needs a TV show like Seinfeld, where it's just observational humor. I don't like this. I don't like that.
With the traffic.
All right, people who stand up too soon as the second the plane lands. You know those people. They just run right up. Okay, we're here.
Yeah.
Or people who don't use turn signals when they're driving.
The first one.
You can't stand that.
I cannot stand that at all.
They're just hovering over you.
Yes.
Like, where are we going?
I'm like, this chill. The door's not open yet. We're going to get out of here. We all, I promise you.
Derrick Henry needs a show.
Derek, hey, listen.
Honestly, I don't think it'd be fun to sit next to Derek on a plane. You're a really big guy. They probably want to get the hell out of there.
It ain't fun for me, so I know it ain't fun for the person.
You can't afford first class, all right? Just relax.
Yeah.
Derek, we appreciate you joining us, man. Thank you so much. Hey, good luck this offseason. We hope you land back with the Tennessee Titans, but if not, let's go where the money goes.
Hey, baby.
Yes.
Well, he had set a new standard for yards per game in a playoff contest, going into the contest against the Chiefs there, Sean. And as we get to premium performances presented by St. Archer Gold, the Chiefs' defense was able to slow him down. But it's a different style of run attack that the 49ers present in Super Bowl 54. So what do the Chiefs have to do to try to get the edge there?
Yeah, Monty, the Chiefs did a great job of really setting the edge. And Derrick Henry is an in-between-the-tackle runner. He wants to get downhill, and so they made him stop his feet in the hole. And when you go back and look at the film, here's setting the edge right here. This is what I'm talking about. Watch Reggie Ragland right here against the tight end. Watch him press this tight end out here, stack and shed right here. All right, that's what they're teaching them to do. And then now the pursuit is able to rally. All right, now how about a run play to the other side? They're trying to run at Frank Clark right here. Watch what he does to Jack Conklin, the right tackle. Look at him press him there. Turn his hips. When you bookend a tackle like that and turn them, you force the running back inside, you squeeze the hole, and the rest of the linebackers pursuit. Now, you see this linebacker right here, all right? That's Damian Wilson. Up in the A-gap. You mug him up. Why do you do that, Money? So now you can't double team. So the Chiefs and Steve Spagnuolo did a great job. Bring the linebacker up in the A-gap, and there you see Frank Clark stacking Jack Conklin again on the edge. So they stacked the edge, set the edge, and then he rallied from behind and the backside pursuit. Now, this is attacking downhill, and this is what they did a great job of in between the tackles. There you see Chris Jones against Roger Saffold, shedding the blocker. He was a monster. You run the tape back, watch Reggie Ragland come downhill on the left tackle right here, Taylor Lewan. They were very physical at the point of attack. They took on the perimeter. This is what they're going to have to do against the 49ers, who have one of the best run-blocking tight ends in the league right now in George Kittle. So Chris Jones is going to have a big game inside, but it's setting the edge. It's going to be so crucial against this 49ers run game. They love the outside zone scheme. So your defensive ends have got to hold up. Frank Clark's got to have a big game.
Yeah, so that we just watched was old stuff. That was the divisional round against the Tennessee
Feels like
Titans.
a month ago.
Exactly. So let's focus on what the 49ers do, because a lot of people, I think, maybe they label it wrong. There's some old school concepts in here, but it's just a different style that you got to contend with.
Yeah, and this touchdown run we're looking at right here was a 36-yard run by Mostert. He wasn't even touched, but it was really a trap scheme. And I think the one thing that impresses me the most about the 49ers, they've run different versions. Here you see a little gadget play with Deebo Samuel out in the lead. They do a great job attacking the perimeter with these gadget plays, and there's the outside zone that I'm talking about right there. Great blocking by the tight end. But this 49ers, they can also run inside power football, and we saw them do that against the Vikings where they pulled their guard. They double teamed at the point of attack, so they can run multiple different styles based on their personnel. But I think the one thing that they do a great job of, just like the Denver Broncos back in the day, those one-cut runs. They get everybody running horizontally. They're not a big, hey, we're smash-mouth guys. We're going to knock you off the line of scrimmage vertically. We want to get you running horizontally and then one cut back against the grain, and that's how we open up the big seam.
Yeah, and when you mention, I think as someone who's an offensive lineman, you get excited. You always hear the number 22, the idea that they have that fullback, those 2 tight ends out there, the extra offensive lineman if they need it. I mean, they can, like you said, they'll play some smash mouth, but they do it differently, and maybe that's the challenge.
Yeah, Kyle Juszczyk has been a secret weapon for them, and he's kind of an extension of the offensive line. They don't really throw him the football very much, although I did go back and look at the last Super Bowl Kyle Shanahan was in. The first 2 completions in that Super Bowl were to the fullback. So keep an eye on Juszczyk. He could end up being a little under-the-radar receiver for them.
Yeah, I remember one of the signings that was widely criticized when they gave Juszczyk all that money.
Yeah.
But you see how versatile in the Swiss Army knife that he has become in this offense. All right,
He's
that
been
was
money, like you.
Exactly right. And difference is I don't make it. And that was Premium Performances presented by St. Archer Gold, the ultimate light beer with 95 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs per 12 ounces. So
it's so good as soon as it hits your lips.
As soon as it's so good. How about Eddie Jackson? As the NFL Centennial season, I should say, draws to a close, NFL players are inspiring change around the issues, charities, and causes they care about most. And Eddie Jackson of the Bears is grateful for the second chance he received in life, and now he's dedicated to empowering at-risk youth through his foundation.
Eddie Jackson coming to get that one. Bro, he's picked off, and there he goes. End zone, touchdown.
EJ. You gotta call me sir, bro. I'm about the same age, y'all boys. And the name of my foundation is Remain in Reach, just to, highlight that it's never too late, giving youth, juvenile delinquents a second chance to show them it's a better way.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. Mr. Jackson, we're truly pleased to know that you've developed an interest for the Youth Empowerment Program, working exclusively with people who have been touched by the criminal justice system.
I was in, y'all's situation. My sophomore year, I got arrested. My junior year, I got kicked out of school. I've been to jail like 3 times. A lot of people don't know that. I grew up in Lauderdale Lakes, Florida. We had our tough times, being around crime, breaking into houses, doing all that, robbing people. I had somebody tell me to drop out of school in middle school, bro. My guidance counselor, she told me, you might as well drop out of school. Because I'm missing days, I'm skipping classes, I'm fighting, hanging with the people, doing all that drugs. At the time, it was like, maybe I should drop out of school. I haven't even got the chance to experience high school yet, and you tell me I should drop out of school. It sucks to know that people actually come in and tell these kids these things that really try to crush their goals. So that's why I started this foundation, to show them that you can achieve anything you put your mind to. I want to ask each one of y'all, y'all got goals where you see yourself, where you want to be?
I don't know, for real.
You don't know? I used to be like that too, though, bro. Everything can change, man. For real, you 17, bro. I was just like you at 17, I promise you. A lot of people don't know we have 16, 17-year-old kids feeling like they need to step up and be the man of the house and go out and commit crimes because their house is not stable, no support system. So this is the way that we show them, we support you, we get it, we understand.
I be trying to learn it still. You need the education to get a career, all that stuff. It just take time. I don't know. Once you see a test, you forget everything. Everything black. So what you supposed to do?
But that's when you start feeling sorry for yourself, bro. Don't feel sorry for yourself. It's gonna be tough.
Find something to do.
Yeah, you gonna find something to do, bro. All you gotta do is show somebody that you really care, that you trying to change. When somebody see that little light in you, that what it took for me. That coach and them teachers at my second high school, but they seen a little light in me, a little switch that all right, he trying. So you know what they gonna do? They gonna keep helping me. Just to show them man, listen, you got a support system that's gonna help you keep pushing to fight your goals. Whatever your goals is, we're gonna help you to reach your goals, no matter if we have to dish out 100 school books, 100 book bags, clothes come in, workshops for, things like that, man, just to keep pushing.
Great work being done there by Eddie Jackson and the Remain to Reach Foundation. Still to come on Super Bowl Today, presented by Lexus. We will get to a potential Defensive Player of the Year. The man that led the league in sacks, Shaq Barrett, will join us next. back here on Super Bowl Today, presented by Lexus. Super Bowl 54 in Miami, and Shaq Barrett, after breaking the single-season sack record of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Warren Sapp likely just managed to head down Alligator Alley, where he is set to join our Colleen Wolfe and Steve Smith for a conversation.
We have Bucs linebacker Shaq Barrett, who took the league by storm this year. 19.5 sacks you had. I mean, when you go back, your first 5 seasons, only 14. What was in the water in Tampa Bay?
It was the coaching. It was my teammates. It was everything around me, combined with my opportunity and my preparation, and I was just ready to take off and take that lead.
See, I got to interrupt. I'm so sick and tired of all the highlights of guys in the playoffs and on stage against the Carolina Panthers.
Well,
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Like, man, there'd be a lot of Tampa Bay highlights. Like, Carolina had one against when Christian McCaffrey made 2 people run into each other in London.
Yeah. Was that you?
No. I ain't looking bad on camera.
But what was the biggest difference for you this year, and how was that, being able to come out and really take your game to a totally new level?
It was me being comfortable and actually feeling like I belonged. Like, I was in Denver. I knew they wanted me in Denver, but I knew they wanted me in Denver as a backup, second string, like no potential to start. And so it was like a love, but it's only because I might need you in the future love. Down there, it's like day one, they loved me right away. I felt it, so it made me want to go out there and play harder for them.
So why was that important?
That just helped me with my comfort zone. It makes me feel... and then on the field, it just makes me want to just play harder for them. And then, like me, myself, I want to play hard for myself anyway. I want to get my family everything I never had, and I want to be the best. But I know I got a short period because I'm starting at year 6.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, we asked you in the break, and you started to answer, and so I told you to wait. Coach Arians comes in.
Yeah.
At some point during the season, calls the team soft. Then he lets some individuals go. I'm speaking like I don't know because I don't want to say something because I wasn't in that locker room.
Yeah.
What was going on in all you guys' mind when he first said it, and then he followed up with actions?
Yeah, like never been seen before. Like, coaches do say it usually, but I guess his was so bad. Like nah, he really hurting the team, and then he didn't be like, dang, like they really did that. Like, yo, we all on Twitter, like they cut Ryan. My wife showed me, like they cut Ryan. We all texting about it, like dang, like they was really about business. Like, I guess he was really holding his bag that much.
So what does that do for the players? You're obviously the leader on that team. You're new. You're part of the new regime. What does that do moving forward in 2020 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
It let us know that they not taking anything. We expect higher of ourselves. They expect higher of us too. So if we're not meeting their expectations, or if we're not like doing simple stuff that we're supposed to do right, and beating ourselves, like they're not going to accept that. That's what Coach said. They're not accepting beating ourselves.
Well, hey, we've been out here for a few days now in Miami talking about this matchup that's coming up on Sunday with the 49ers and the Chiefs. Watching that Niners defense and that Niners pass rush specifically, what makes them so special?
They got it from everywhere, like every position all the way down the line got it. They all good, come off the edge, the inside, and they all got the dog mentality. I'm gonna get there before you get there. Like they racing toward, and I love watching that D-line. Like, yeah, that's a good D-line.
And your foundation, you do so much out in the community, but how can people kind of help out with your foundation and everything that you're doing?
So just right now, just be on the lookout for it right now. And trying to figure out if it's gonna be in Denver or Tampa. That's why it's a little hold, because I don't know what the future holds. But yeah, it's gonna be Denver. Tampa's a foundation where we bring in foster kids and foster parents in, and trying to build somewhere where they could come in and have a normal, consistent area where it's not always changing, and just try to help them find some normalcy in their lives.
So the 50-50 Foundation?
Yep, 50-50 Project.
50-50 Project. Everybody can check that out. Shaq Barrett, thanks so much for coming by and joining us. Best of luck next year. I can't wait to see what's next for you, my man.
Hey, me neither.
Love the prove-it deals that work out for the players. Certainly did for Shaq Barrett. Let's get to In the Hunt, presented by, and it can be seen on Amazon Prime Video. So Shaq Barrett in the conversation, Sean, as the Defensive Player of the Year. He led the league in sacks with 19.5, but if we take Shaq off the board, give me your Defensive Player of the Year.
Zadarius Smith. You know, I know a lot of people look at the sacks when you're talking about pass rushers and defensive guys, but Zadarius Smith, when you turn on the film, it didn't matter where he was lined up. He was getting to the quarterback. He could line up at right end, as he is right here. He lined up at left end. You'd see him standing up over the center sometimes, too. They kind of use him in like this Jadeveon Clowney type role where you'd see him roaming all over the field. And he was stalking his prey all season long, Monty. Those tackles for a loss right there, you just saw, I mean, he was fourth most in the league. He led the league in quarterback pressures and quarterback hits. So he was the most disruptive defensive player in the league this year. Ironically, he was snubbed for the Pro Bowl. Got in as a replacement, but was not voted to the original roster. You probably remember him. He had the shirt. He kind of pulled it up, said snubbed. So highly motivated guy, too, which makes him even more dangerous.
I'm going to go with someone who also underrated. And I think Zadarius maybe a little bit of heat just because of a free agent signing, but someone who's been in Minnesota for a while, and that's Danielle Hunter, and does not get nearly enough attention. And one of the things I appreciate most about a defensive end is when you see the tackle numbers. And the sacks are there, 14.5. The QB hits are there, 22. 15 tackles for loss, but you're talking about 70 tackles. Someone who does not sell out to stop the run just to get upfield and pile up those sack numbers, but he will set the edge, he will tackle, and his hands are as nasty as anyone's in the league. You see the 3 forced fumbles, the 1 fumble recovery, and he's just been doing it for years. And
he's a lethal weapon, as you could see by that kick, too. His feet are pretty dangerous, too. I think he works out.
Yeah, I would say he probably does. Yeah, nice flexibility, too, in that body.
He's got some muscles.
But not mentioned nearly enough in the elite defensive category when it comes to pass rushers or defensive linemen. That, again, will bring us to taking a sneak peek at Hunters, which is streaming on Amazon Prime Video.
I see what you did
there. Which can be seen on
Danielle
February 21st. Exactly. Hunter.
They are among us, and they have plans. So the time to act is now.
You put together a group of Nazi hunters. How did Nazi get into the States?
I must send a message.
I want to know who you are!
Welcome to the hunt.
They're coming to America.
It's pretty good.
What is it, like 3?
It's over 3. Welcome back to Super Bowl Today, presented by Lexus. Certainly considering it's January 30th in many parts of the country, I'm guessing airfares taking a spike with the images we show you from beautiful Miami here as we make our way towards Super Bowl 54. It's time now, as the Chiefs have not been in the Super Bowl for 50 years, for 100 years of greatness, presented by Verizon Fios.
I remember the Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl IV.
What a moment for all of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're beating the best that the NFL has to offer out here today.
65 horsepower trap. It might pop wide open, Red.
Running play coming to Garrett on a trap. Touchdown. Garrett scores for the play.
Yes, sir, boys.
And the team wins. And it's a resounding win. It's 23-7.
That's it. Yeah. Dude, that's it, boys.
It was one of the first times that my whole family was together. My mother was kind of quiet otherwise, but this was something that she got in with. And when we won, my father gave me pots and pans and said, go out in the yard, and car horns were honking, and we were all making noise because we just won the world championships, the Super Bowl. It just seared into me from that moment on. I will be a Kansas City Chiefs fan for life.
And that was 100 years of greatness presented by Verizon Fios. Speaking of greatness, something we do not see almost ever. The third player in NFL history in its 100-year history with 1,000 rush yards and 1,000 receiving yards in a single season. Panthers' Christian McCaffrey, and he is with our Good Morning Football crew.
Please welcome absolute beast. Yeah!
Hey!
What's up, Christian? What's up, baby? How you doing?
I'm great. Happy to be on the show. Good weather in Miami.
Yeah, it is. I appreciate you joining us, man. Listen, so we had David Johnson on the show a couple of seasons back, and we got super excited when he told us, you know what, my goals are 1,000-yard rushing, 1,000-yard receiving season. And you did that this year. Did you go into the season with that in mind, or did it just happen?
Yeah, it's always been a goal of mine. I think when you look at guys like Marshall Faulk and Roger Craig, the other two that have done it, two of the best to ever do it, they set pretty high standard. And I take pride in being a complete back, being a back who can catch the ball out of the backfield, run routes, and stay on the field and be a three-down back. So it meant a lot, when I got it. It's definitely something that I wrote down. Obviously, at the end of the day, the most important thing is winning. And unfortunately, this year was a little tough.
You wrote it down before the season that you wanted to do it?
Yeah, for a couple seasons ago I did, yeah.
Really?
But I always set individual goals and team goals. And,
of course.
At the end of the day, goals sometimes aren't as controllable in football. It's such a team game. But, I have fun with it, and, it gives you something to work towards.
Now, we have the NFL honors coming up. What if you did get that honor of Offensive Player of the Year? Like, I know you said the individual awards don't matter, but I mean, still though, to be like crowned that amongst your peers, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it'd be a huge honor. Anytime you win an award, it's an honor. Just to be up for it, it definitely means a lot. I've lost enough awards though in my career that I realize that at the end of the day, it's about playing football, going out there and winning games. So. I used to tell myself when I would lose, when I lost a few awards, this stuff doesn't even matter. So if I said that then when I win, I got to, stay and hold true to that.
Yeah. We keep hearing about how it's a passing league and it's all about the quarterbacks. And yet postseason rolls around and it's Derrick Henry running over teams. It's the Niners running over everyone. And in the regular season, it was you doing the job you did. What do you say when you hear the running back role has been diminished in 2020?
I would highly disagree. I think that's pretty an absurd statement just due to the fact that, you look around the league and you see what some of these teams' main weapons are and how they're using guys, and it's at the running back position. You talk about guys like Kamara, like Saquon, like Zeke, like Todd Gurley, and, these different backs around the league who are doing special things week in and week out. And to me, I think it's a crucial position, just like the O-line. O-line never gets talked about, and you talk about Derrick Henry and the run he had. The Titans O-line was fun to watch. When I was rolling, and it wasn't all me. It was, our O-line has to do the job up front. it allows guys like Derrick Henry, who are already special beasts and phenoms, to go out there and make plays the way they do.
Christian, there's very few things that could get me more excited than this situation right here. We're in Miami. The sun's coming up. There's palm trees, guys rollerblading by. Right. We're in Miami. But we all got so hyped hearing Matt Rule at the podium in his introductory speech. We were so here for it. And it's a really exciting time for Charlotte. What stood out to you about your new head coach so far?
I think when you look at his press conference, I think that spoke for itself. And you look at his resume and you know, being a guy who's had a history of turning teams around who are struggling, and as a player, it's fun. You know, we have such a good team. We have a lot of good guys, a lot of good leaders. We got good veterans. We got good young guys. So it's an exciting team to come into.
It's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
Intense?
Very cool. Yeah, he's intense. You know, he's definitely
it's a hell of a set. We have the beauty of the beast, the majesty of the leaf blower. This is South Beach. It's absolutely fantastic, Christian. You are, in a sense, my friend, like Jon Snow. You can do it both south and north of the wall. You can catch and run it.
Said to me. Thank you.
And I know that's wheelhouse for you. But Jon Snow had Tormund. He had Tormund Giantsbane, his guy. You've had Cam for much of your career in Carolina. This is a crazy offseason for Cam, and there's a lot of people speculating. He's gone. He's back. He's this. He's that. In your gut, when you look forward to next season, do you picture yourself catching the ball from Cam Newton or somebody else?
Absolutely. You know, Cam's a guy for me who, when I came into the league, you know, he was the quarterback. And obviously, an injury, he's unfortunately had to miss some games and hadn't been playing 100%. But when Cam's at 100%, he's one of the most fun guys in the league to play with and to watch on the field. So for me, that's my guy. You know, I love him, and I'm really hoping that, you know, he gets back healthy so that we can go out there and do what we know we can do.
We were creeping on your socials earlier, and you gave Super Bowl tickets to a Marine. What do you have going on with USAA?
Yeah, it's really exciting. Partnered with USAA and gave Sergeant Major Leyva 2 Super Bowl tickets. He's actually the only active duty military member that we gave tickets to. But it's a cool event. You know, we have so much appreciation for the military, and it's something that anytime I have an opportunity to give back to the military in any way, I do it. So this was a fun thing, you know, because he's, like I said, it's the first time it's an active duty Marine, and it's just a cool event. You know, I mean, they do so much for us and are very underappreciated, I feel like. So anytime I'm able to give back, I enjoy it.
Well, you see Christian McCaffrey coming off 1,000 season. That is worthy of a cigar.
Yeah, you know what they say, when in Rome.
That's exactly right. When in Rome, get the things they roll, I believe is how it goes. Back here on Super Bowl Today, presented by Lexus, there is the just renovated Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, site of Super Bowl 54. Chiefs 49ers will get it going in just 3 days. Someone who knows what it's like to win a Super Bowl in Miami, Sean Payton, joins the show.
Saints head coach Sean Payton joining us now on the set here at Radio Row. Coach, let's talk about this because the season that you had, you orchestrated things so well between the three quarterbacks that you had with Drew Brees going down and now going into this next season. All three of those guys are not under contract for 2020.
It's a little unsettling, right?
Which I'm sure you're aware of. So what's your gut feeling just starting with Drew Brees, first of all, considering he was talking to Jane Slater about retiring? And have you talked to him at all?
Yeah, so it would be real normal when a season ends for Drew and I to meet and just spend time talking about the season and then what his plans are with his family. And so this year was prior to the Pro Bowl. And we talked about this, and it was something that I think most importantly for him, he wanted a little bit of time to spend with his family. I think none of us try to make any decisions when the season ends right away.
It's emotional right there. Yeah.
and so you need a little bit of time after it. And I think we'll know sooner than later. I think, look, it's not anything about money. It's not anything about other teams. It's strictly the toll and the energy required to do what he does day in, day out during a football season. And the sacrifices that involves relative to your family as well. And then I think with that information then, and we want him back. You know, in other words, he played at an extremely high level. And when he got hurt, then Teddy Bridgewater went in, and he was outstanding. And so Teddy's a free agent. And fortunately, we've got time before free agency. But Taysom Hill is another. To have all three of those guys back is probably very unlikely. Mm-hmm. And you really appreciate the season you had when you had all three of them. Because Taysom does a lot of different things. When the quarterback meeting starts on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, he's not in that meeting. Yeah. He's in the special teams meeting. And so he leaves special teams. He joins the quarterbacks a little bit late. They give him a hard time. He's in 5 or 6 different personnel groups. And I think, though, as his career evolves, he's still eventually going to find himself as a starting quarterback in the NFL. And so I think really for now the decision starts with where Drew's at, and then we work with, fortunately, 2 guys that we're close with and have had great experience with.
Well, Coach, I love that. I was one of those types of quarterbacks coming out of college, being able to do a lot of different things like that. But how did you get that message across to the team? When the general goes down, when Drew Brees goes down, how did you get your team to respond in the way they did? Because the defense stepped up.
Listen,
the run game stepped up.
It was important. It's a great question. We lost in L.A. to the Rams week 2, and we went to 1-1. And now the quarterback, who's been healthy his whole career except one game, he's out for 5 to 6 weeks. And we're going right to Seattle, which is a tough place to play on the road. And so the message was, look, nothing has to happen different for Teddy Bridgewater. He's just fine. But offensively, all of us have gotten accustomed to, like, Emerald being in the kitchen. He's been boiling the water. He's been doing all of these other things. Now, some of us are going to have to get back and put an apron on and go to work. And it's not going to be just we're going to have to play the game that suits Teddy Bridgewater and suits our team. And that was important. That win in Seattle was important. And then the following week, and then all of a sudden, Teddy now, and you saw his play against Chicago.
Got into a rhythm.
And Tampa Bay, and now all of a sudden there's a comfort level he has and our team feels and gets re-energized with. And then Drew comes back in the lineup, and Teddy's like, hey, I kept the seat all along for you. 5-0. But it was a defining moment for our team, though, the Seattle game. The very first week where Drew was out, and Teddy's hadn't played in a year and a half for him either. And that's a while in a regular season. So I think that had a big part of how we ended up winning 13 games is our response to that adversity.
Yeah, and Coach, I know you won't say it on TV, you won't admit it, but I regard you as one of the premier play callers in our league. How did the play calling change with Drew going down?
We did a few things different. Like, we wanted to be quicker in and out of the huddle. We wristbanded certain plays. Teddy's extremely smart
and I would say an exceptional down-the-field thrower off play action. So there's a throw he makes in the Chicago game that is like, man. But the funny thing about it is each of these guys has their strengths of what they want to do. And so when Drew was out, now we're meeting on Saturday nights before the game. We'll go through the play call sheet and we'll dot our favorites. And the starting quarterback will dot them. But I want to know, and I want to know if there's something he doesn't like, because I don't want to call that play. And so normally for 13 years, it would always be we'd have snack, and then the last thing we'd do was dot the plays at 10:30. So we're in Seattle.
I love
we're in Seattle, and Teddy's like, Coach, hey, can we dot the plays before snack? So I don't want to stay. I'm like, well, yeah, you're the starting quarterback. We can dot the plays whenever you want. And so right when we're getting started, I'm texting Breeze. He's at the hospital. I said, hey, we're already changing when we dot the plays. So you better hurry up.
New routines already.
And it's like, but it was a perfect example of, hey, you know, Teddy's one of those guys that likes taking snack to the room. Some guys like going downstairs and eating snack. And so, hey, it's your offense. Here we go. A lot of it was same system, same terminology, same everything. But there were certain comfort level plays that he enjoyed probably more than Drew, and vice versa. And so our jobs really is to give them the stuff that we feel like they do best. And it was awesome coaching him. I mean,
I'm sure.
When I say that now, there's something about his leadership skill set, and the players responded. And then, you know, Taysom, the challenge with Drew's injury, though, is we lost 1.5 players because Taysom now is the backup and you only have 2. Yep. Like, and you can't run him down on a kickoff and have him come over to the sideline with the finger on his throwing hand going this way. Like,
Coach,
so you lost one and then the other.
I feel like we could sit here and talk to you for
I'm
4
fan,
hours,
so.
5 hours. But before we let you go, I have to ask you about Zebra Technologies and everything that you're doing with them.
Yeah, so they've been with our league now, and they're with us. They're the company that puts the barcodes and all the stuff we do when we go to Target and we scan our stuff. So long before football, they've been tracking items, they've been tracking inventory, and now our league uses it to track player movement. We use it to track training camp movement for soft tissue injuries. So if I'm looking at the average distance traveled for the receivers during practice is 6 to 8 miles of practice, and I've got a couple outliers, you know, I want to be alert so I'm not getting hamstring injuries. The system is in the shoulder pads. You get this speed data, you get energy data. It's in the football now, so we get spin rate.
Wow. Got it all, right?
It's coming in. Yeah, so it's
cool.
It's into our game already, and each year we're using more and more of the information.
I love it.
It's helpful.
That's awesome. So cool. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you guys. You guys got the best set here.
We have so many more questions for you. We're going to pitch you a podcast after this, so stick around, right?
We'll do it.
Sean Payton, everybody joining us here from Radio Row.
I think I saw Sean O'Hara's eyes get a little wide when he said snack. I bet Sean was a double snack guy, right? Snack in the room and then snack to the room as well, right?
Yes.
Double snack.
I'll take that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sean Payton, widely regarded as one of the best play callers, head coaches in the league, understandably so, has a Super Bowl championship under his belt. What about the 2 head coaches we have here? You hate to say, hey, pick one. We know they're both great. They're both in the Super Bowl. But if you were to give an edge, which head coach would you lean toward?
You know, Monty, we're listening to Sean Payton talk about going from Drew Brees to Teddy Bridgewater. And I think what that little conversation just showed is Sean Payton's ability to adapt. So with that being said, Andy Reid, his ability to adapt and morph his offense. Andy Reid's been doing this a long time, and yet his offense doesn't look antiquated. And I remember when he was with the Eagles and I was with the Giants, there were times in the game, Monty, where I would look up halfway through the first quarter and we're already down 14 points. And you say, how the heck did that happen? His ability to score points at such a fast rate has always been his calling card. And it's ironic that in this postseason, they have struggled early on in games and they've had to rally back. So I like what Andy Reid has done with his offense. It's constantly evolving. When you look at the pieces that are around him offensively, the amount of speed that they have built with this roster, this might be the best offense Andy Reid has ever had in his entire coaching career. And he's had a lot of talented players, but he's got one straw that stirs that drink so well. And Mahomes, with the vertical passing attack that Andy Reid has always loved and the spacing that he creates, the ability to extend the plays, it's something that he has never really had. You know, Don McNabb did a good job at times, but he was reckless with the ball. To have a guy like Brett Favre that can have that ability but still take care of the football, matched with Andy Reid, I mean, this is an unbelievable cocktail.
I'll take up the case for Kyle Shanahan. Just being here in Southern California, I've said it repeatedly. We hear so much about Sean McVay and what a genius he is and the Sean McVay coaching tree. It's not the Sean McVay coaching tree. It's Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. And he is the one that has led to all of this success from all of these offensive play callers. One of the great things that I certainly appreciate, and I'm sure you do as well, about Kyle is you hear it from the Bill Belichick's, the Nick Sabans. It's not your system. It's a system that benefits the players on your team. And here is a head coach and a general manager that partnered to trade a high draft pick to hand out $130 million to a quarterback. And when they decided that wasn't the best path and they weren't going to be celebrated for Jimmy Garoppolo, they just started running the ball. And they ran it with names that you weren't familiar with, Matt Breida, Tevin Coleman, obviously Raheem Mostert on his 7th team with 4 touchdowns in a game. And you saw on this particular play here, that's the genius of Kyle Shanahan. He was saving that play for a specific moment. He saw that end go out wide 9, and he knew that was the time to call it. You're going to see it. We've seen it repeatedly in so many games now. You know, the video that's being pushed around and went viral is him talking to the referee about, hey, this guy's holding. I'm about to run a play. I want you to watch that player, and boom, the flag comes out. That tells you.
Calls it ahead of it.
Yeah, there's something special about this guy who's a step ahead of the competition.
Kyle has an unbelievable ability to kind of see the game unfold. And as he's calling plays early in the first half, those plays, yeah, he wants to get 4 yards or get a first down on that play, but he's also setting up something in the second half.
Right.
And it's remarkable to see that back and forth and how that all transpires. Well, the one thing that jumps out at me about the 49ers, they had more touchdowns scored by undrafted players than any other team in the league.
What's that tell you about a coach?
Yeah, that goes to show you that, man, he's drawn up some good plays when he can just kind of plug and play guys.
It's probably the most undercovered storyline, that you have 2 brilliant head coaches that are going to be in this chess match with one another in Super Bowl 54. Another reason why we cannot wait for this one.
Where's
to get
that
going.
snack now?
Right, Super Bowl today, presented by Lexus. We'll be back with, caviar. That's our snack on that ship. JuJu Smith-Schuster will join us next. Three days away from Super Bowl 54 between the Chiefs and the 49ers in Miami, as we are all over the locations that you want to be part of in this wonderful city as it plays host to the Super Bowl. How about JuJu Smith-Schuster, one of our favorites, sitting down with Colleen and Mike Robb.
Hey, we have JuJu Smith-Schuster here, Steelers wide receiver with us. And JuJu, listen, first of all, how are you enjoying Miami?
I mean, it's awesome, man. This is pretty cool. Would you call it, say, lit? Because honestly, Miami's a pretty lit spot. And I mean, the weather's nice. You can't complain.
A little warmer than Pittsburgh, huh?
Very, very warm in Pittsburgh right now.
Little bit. So looking back on the season, obviously as the #1 guy this year, you played with 3 different quarterbacks. How difficult was that, and what did you learn about yourself this season?
I think for my biggest point was the coverage of me going against defensive players is a lot. I'm going against some ones. I'm going against the double teams. But more so, playing with 3 different quarterbacks, the difference is that you go from Hall of Fame quarterback, and then you got to adjust to playing with 2 quarterbacks, going back and forth. But I think it was cool, man. I think it was a fun experience, in my career to learn that you got to adjust, you got to play whoever's on the field, and you basically say the standard is the standard.
Yeah, how different was it being the guy this year? I mean, you were the guy that on opposing defenses, when they did their game plan, and they circled you. We got to make sure we got 2 eyes on you. Explain the difference between the previous years when you had AB and now this year when you were the guy.
Yeah, I mean, the difference, is like I said, the coverages, the schemes, being outside, inside. You're always doing this in the #1 corner. Mm-hmm. Not having been out there kind of made it even harder because you make adjustments or stuff like that. It makes the game a lot easier when you have a quarterback like that. But at the end of the day, we made it work. We got towards the end of our season where we could control our destiny, and we fell short.
So how different this year was the wide receiver room compared to your first 2 seasons in the league?
Oh, very different.
You see what she's getting at over there.
I'm just wondering. I'm asking for a bunch of friends.
All the friends out there, you're welcome. No, but honestly, I think the biggest difference was, you have a guy like AB who's that dog. He's that dude. He's probably been in the past 2-3 years, one of the best wide receivers in the game. Then you don't have him in the room. And then now we go to, I'm the youngest guy in the room who's considered the oldest guy in the room on the field, technically, based off of years of experience. Mm-hmm. So, my leadership role, me being more vocal, changed a lot. And it was a pretty cool experience. You learn about yourself, you learn about your teammates, you learn about your guys. But at the end of the day, the guys we had in that room, we always made it work.
Talk about your head coach, Mike Tomlin. I'm a huge fan of Mike Tomlin. We've seen through the years he going to ride for his team, right? Just talk about what you've seen in the growth from Coach Tomlin this year, meeting all this type of adversity.
Yeah, man. Honestly, when we drew from the first pick, we traded for Fitzpatrick. Yep. So it was we're not backing down. We're not going to wait until to get a draft pick. No, we're going after Fitzpatrick right now. He came in and he dominated. Our defense is unstoppable. We're probably one of the best. And then for our offense, obviously we had a couple of difficulties, but like you said, the standard is the standard. Whoever we had out there, we're playing with. It doesn't matter what quarterback we're out there with, and we're going to go out there. We're going to play our game and dominate.
So you're entering a contract year this year. What are you going to work on in the off season coming up?
Honestly, I've just been training. I've been out for 5 weeks, during the season. So I started my training a little early this year, just to show and prove that, I'm worth it.
I'm going to bring it on into this game, this Super Bowl game, the San Francisco 49ers, Kansas City Chiefs. I think you guys played the Niners this year, had an L. Talk about these teams. Who you think is going to win this game?
I like how you said had an L.
Yeah. I didn't mean to throw it out there like that. You got to speak the truth, man.
No, it's all good. No, it is the truth. I don't have a team, man. I'm not picking. Honestly, I think, like I said, I think it's 35-28.
Okay.
And somebody's going to win it. I think.
So you don't know who's going to win, but that's going to be
that. We know that.
Keep it at that, I'm not being biased. Man. You trying to get me caught up on TV.
I saw that you crashed a wedding back in November.
Yeah, bro, tell me about that, man.
Also, do you have any tips for any other potential wedding crashers out there?
Man, honestly, hit me up, man. I work for free. All y'all need is a flight in the hotel room when I pull up.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
So you're playing in a Fortnite tournament coming up, right?
Yeah.
And that's who's all in that? I saw 15 other NFL players.
Yeah. So Avante from the Philly, he's actually really good. I played with him before, and I know Jamal's playing in there. There's a lot of us. Honestly, if you check it out later today, from 5 to 8, it's gonna be pretty cool. But I'm a big gamer. I've always been a big gamer.
Really?
So growing up, I was like, I got into Fortnite heavy, and I actually play a good amount. So now I'm a part of this Twitch thing. I also stream too. So it's
no
cool.
way! What was your first favorite video game?
My first favorite video game, I'd probably say War at War, Call of Duty.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was your favorite? That was your first game that you really went into like that?
I went crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. I was on there gaming. Like, you asked my mom, like, I was on there gaming from like 12 to 12 every day. Come home, play video games. I couldn't play during the week, so I wake up at like 6 a.m. on Friday just so I can game because it was a weekend technically.
Wow. Yo, it's competitive.
He got me feeling old. I'm thinking about Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man and
right?
Atari.
Miss Pac-Man was the best and still is the best, might I say. So you're here with Gatorade, Bolt 24. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Bolt 24 is an official drink of Gatorade. My off-the-field product, and then on the field I drink Gatorade. But it has hydration, electrolytes, all that good stuff. And, you know, I drink it while I'm playing video games, so I'm hanging out, chilling. Well, I'm going to be in the club this weekend, you know, drinking, you know, staying hydrated, and to perform at the highest level.
All right, well, JuJu Smith-Schuster, everybody out there, try some Gatorade Bolt 24. Maybe me and M-Rob are going to do that as well.
And get 'em for
Stay
a wedding
hydrated, and good luck next season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
One of our favorite guys to be around. It is time for now bold predictions presented by Lexus. Bold prediction for the Super Bowl, Sean O'Hara.
Yeah, Travis Kelce will be the leading receiver. I know we've got a lot of track stars and a lot of fast, good receivers, but Travis Kelce, I went back and looked at their Week 3 game from 2018, 49ers Chiefs. Kelce was all over the field. He was unstoppable. The 49ers notably run a lot of zone defense, a lot of cover 3, and Kelce just ate them up every single time they ran zone. He found the soft spot, found a little space, and Mahomes and him were in sync. He had 8 catches for 114 yards. I think he has a big Super Bowl 54.
No, you mentioned speed, and speed gets me thinking about those Lexus F-Series vehicles, and that is why I'm going to go with not pass catchers going the distance, but how about pass catchers running the ball? I think we're going to have a rush TD. My bold prediction, a rush TD. It's not really that bold for Deebo Samuel. He had 3 rush TDs this season, but I'm going to give one to the other rookie, McCole Hardman, as well, because the Chiefs are going to have to run the ball. And they're probably not going to run the ball in traditional methods, but you're going to see a lot of that misdirection, a lot of these reverses, and we know the speed that Hardman has. So why not use that in your run game as opposed to just between the tackles with Damian Williams? Use the speed to your advantage. They do it with Deebo, and I think Andy Reid will do it with McCole Hardman as well.
That's why they call you money. Because with the Lexus plug you threw in there, why fly when you can drive?
Exactly. There you go. Lexus F-Series. That's Super Bowl today. We got it all figured out. It only took us to the last segment. Here's a look at who we have joining us tomorrow after a stacked guest list today, as that was our bold predictions presented by Lexus. Drew Brees. Heard Sean Payton talk about Drew Brees and his future with the Saints. Russell Wilson in the conversation as MVP this season. Someone regularly cited as the #1 receiver, all-around receiver in the league, DeAndre Hopkins. And how about potential #1 overall draft picks to the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow or Tua Tagovailoa will both be joining us. And Rick Ross, not affiliated with an NFL team.
I hope Rick has a shirt on.
Celebrity. I hope he doesn't. Yeah. You know what? Just embrace it. You know, you are, right? Right. Rick Ross, get after it. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Super Bowl today, presented by Lexus.
Deuces.
Sean O'Hara will be back again. Thanks for doing that. Deuces?
Yeah.
Is that a Rick Ross thing?
Maybe.
Interesting.
Find out tomorrow.